favorite memories. Kikap 1 Umag Gamsang Myosa, describe listening to music. One of my favorite things to do is listening to music. I usually listen to music when I commute or relax at home. My favorite genre is pop music. I especially like it because the melodies are very catchy. Sometimes I also listen to ballads when I want to relax. Honestly, music helps me relieve stress. So I listen to music almost every day. Kikap 2 Umag Gamsang Lutan, routine. Usually, I listen to music on my smartphone. First, I open my music app and choose a playlist. Then I put on my earphones and start listening. Sometimes I listen to music while walking. You know, it makes the walk more enjoyable. Other times I listen to music before going to bed. It really helps me relax and feel calm. Kikap 3 Gioj Namnoon Umag Gyungiam, memorable experience. I remember a memorable experience related to music. One day, I went to a live concert with my friends. Honestly, I was really excited because it was my first concert. The singer performed many popular songs. The audience sang along with the music. At that moment, I felt very happy and energetic. It was definitely an unforgettable experience. Kikap 4 Umag Shuiyang Baiwanwa, comparison, change. My music taste has changed a lot over time. When I was younger, I mostly listened to pop music. I liked fast and energetic songs. But now I also enjoy calm music like ballads. Sometimes I even listen to jazz music. You know, my taste became more diverse. Overall, I enjoy many different kinds of music these days. Kikap 1 Jajayanjio Tagi Myosa, describe biking. One of my favorite outdoor activities is riding a bicycle. There is a bike path near my house. I usually ride my bike there on weekends. The path is very safe and well maintained. You know, the scenery along the path is really beautiful. Honestly, riding a bike makes me feel refreshed. That's why I enjoy biking so much. Kikap 2 Jajayanjio Tal Tt Hainun Geos, routine. Usually, I ride my bike when I have free time. First, I check my bike and wear a helmet. Then I start riding along the bike path. Sometimes I listen to music while riding. You know, it makes the ride more enjoyable. After riding for about an hour, I take a short break. It's a great way to exercise and relieve stress. Kikap 3 Gioj Namnoon Jajayanjio Gyungiam, memorable experience. I remember a memorable experience when I rode my bike. One day, I went biking with my friends. We rode along a long bike path near the river. The weather was perfect that day. You know, the view of the river was amazing. We talked and laughed while riding together. Honestly, it was a really fun and unforgettable experience. Kikap 4 Jajayanjio Guageo vs Hiwanje Bigyo, comparison. My biking habits have changed over time. When I was younger, I rode my bike almost every day. I usually rode around my neighborhood with my friends. But now I don't ride as often as before. These days, I mostly ride on weekends. You know, I'm usually busy during the week. Still, I really enjoy biking whenever I have time. Kikap 1 Jogging, Giaji Myosa, describe jogging or walking. One activity I really enjoy is jogging. There is a walking trail near my house. I usually go there in the evening. The trail is quiet and surrounded by many trees. You know, the air there is very fresh. Honestly, jogging helps me feel refreshed. That's why I try to jog regularly. Kikap 2 Jogging, Giaji Lutan, routine. Usually, I go jogging after work. First, I change into comfortable sports clothes. Then I stretch my body to warm up. After that, I start jogging slowly along the trail. Sometimes I listen to music while jogging. You know, it makes the exercise more enjoyable. After jogging, I feel relaxed and energized. Kikap 3 Gioj Namnoon Jogging, Giaji Gyungiam, memorable experience. I remember a memorable time when I went jogging. One day, I went jogging with my friend in the park. The weather was really nice that day. We jogged together for about an hour. You know, we talked a lot while jogging. Honestly, it was very fun and refreshing. It became a great memory for me. Kikap 4 Guageo vs Hiwanje Bigyo, comparison. My exercise habits have changed over time. When I was younger, I didn't exercise very often. I mostly stayed at home and watched TV. But now I try to exercise regularly. So these days, I go jogging or walking more often. You know, staying healthy is very important. Overall, I enjoy jogging much more now. Kikap 1 Jibasio Bonenun Hyuga Myosa, describe a staycation. These days, I sometimes enjoy spending my vacation at home. This kind of vacation is often called a staycation. During a staycation, I usually relax at home. I watch movies or Netflix for a long time. Sometimes I cook delicious food for myself. You know, staying at home feels very comfortable. Honestly, it's a great way to rest and relieve stress. Kikap 2 Jibasio Hyuga Bonal TT Hainun Geo's routine. Usually, I spend my staycation relaxing at home. First, I wake up late and take my time in the morning. Then I watch movies or TV shows. Sometimes I order delivery food. You know, I really enjoy trying different foods. In the evening, I listen to music or play games. It makes my staycation very enjoyable. Kikap 3 Gioj Namnun Jibasio Hyuga Gyungium, memorable experience. I remember a memorable staycation I had last year. I decided to stay at home during my vacation. At first, I thought it might be boring. But actually, it was very relaxing. I watched many movies and TV series. You know, I also cooked some meals at home. Honestly, it turned out to be a really enjoyable vacation. Kikap 4 Yajen Hyuga vs Yojium Hyuga Bigyo comparison. My vacation style has changed over time. When I was younger, I preferred traveling far away. I often visited famous tourist destinations. But these days, I sometimes enjoy staycations. You know, traveling can be tiring sometimes. So staying at home feels more relaxing. Overall, I enjoy both types of vacations. Kikap 1 Gune Yohang Myosa, describe domestic travel. I really enjoy traveling within Korea. There are many beautiful places to visit. I usually travel with my friends. Sometimes we visit famous tourist spots. You know, each region has its own unique culture. We also try local food when we travel. Honestly, domestic trips are always fun and refreshing. Kikap 2 Gune Yohang Luden, what you do when traveling in Korea. Usually, I travel to other cities during long weekends. First, I search for good places to visit online. Then I make a simple travel plan. When I arrive, I explore the city and take many pictures. You know, I like discovering new places. I also enjoy trying famous local dishes. It always becomes a memorable experience. Kikap 3 Hyoi Yohang Myosa, describe overseas travel. One of my dreams is traveling abroad. I love experiencing different cultures. A few years ago, I traveled to Japan. The city was very clean and well organized. You know, the food there was really delicious. I visited many famous tourist attractions. Honestly, it was an unforgettable trip. Kikap 4 Gioj Namnun Hyoi Yohang Gyungium, memorable overseas trip. I remember a memorable trip abroad. I visited Japan with my friends. We explored many places in the city. The streets were lively and full of people. You know, we tried sushi and ramen. Everything tasted amazing. It was one of the best trips I've ever had. Lolpule Munui. Kikap 4 Yohang Jungbo Munui. Hi, I'm calling because I have a question. I'm planning to visit your city soon. Could you recommend some tourist attractions? I'm interested in famous places to visit. Also, are there any good local restaurants? I'd love to try local food. Thanks for your help. Manang Jungbo Munui Sukeulibtu. Hello, I'm calling because I have a question.